trying to get in their last bits.
Yep.
For ultimate.
We got to end it off right with all the traditions.
Oh, yeah. So let's see. I'm excited to see this Dlyster versus Unknown. Dlyster with his first PR win at the last tournament of the season. Beating Yanni. Pretty good stuff for him.
Yeah.
So let's see how he can fare against Unknown.
Yeah, the big challenge here is just going to be able to get in and just stay in on Unknown, but he's starting off pretty strong here.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed about Dlyster, I've only ever seen him play like once, but I've heard from multiple people like this kid is good. When I watched what he was doing at Send-Off, Spartan Pantheon Send-Off the other weekend, this kid has a really good foundation for what it takes to be like a good player. Like he always is like playing like he'll play to the level of like oh my god, that was disgusting.
Wow.
He plays to the level of the person he's fighting against.
Yeah.
And so like when you're seeing him fight against these like top players, it's like okay, this kid is actually hitting it like off at a really good spot. And you're starting off like against Unknown like with a pretty clean first stock.
Yeah.
This is doing good. And this kid with Martha Lucina looking like even better, he is in a good spot heading into Ultimate.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it is just these little short movement mix-ups he does, because it's not like major movements where he's like, I'm going to do a really big hop. It's just going to be like, oh, I'm just going to do this tiny little turnaround and make you think that something's coming.
Yeah, I love, he tomahawks perfectly. And honestly, if you're good at like tomahawking, then you can mix that into your play as Marcina. Disgusting. And right now he is just playing so damn good. Oh, but that should be the stock.
Yeah, so Unknown finally able to get a word in edgewise there, but still sitting at 62%. Not somewhere you want to be sitting against the sorties.
No, not at all. Mewtwo at the ledge, one jab forward smash away from losing his first game. And this is only a 2 out of 3.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, he's just doing such a good job of keeping up the pressure and just staying right next to Unknown in a range where he can keep the aggression safely.
Definitely. And Unknown starting to mount some form of a comeback here, but you can kind of tell when Unknown needs to like get in the zone. It's always slow, methodical play, and he just kind of like walks around and just tries to force out like force his opponent into an option.
Yep.
And Dlyster, while he is kind of like biting a little bit, he's not mindlessly throwing out stuff as like a form of like retaliation.
Yep.
It's just Dlyster's throwing out like a safe bear or a safe jab just to kind of like as a preventative measure.
Yeah, so he's using the movement to make Unknown think that he's found an opening, but then he comes back in for the punish.
Exactly, and I mean that is what Marcina has to do against like characters like Mewtwo. Oh, but that up throw, Dlyster taking game number 1, Unknown.
And that's going to be big because going against a player like Unknown, you want to get the advantage as early as you can.
Yeah, and I mean like Unknown, this is really uncharacteristic of him to like, I guess like fall to these like players who really are like weaker than him in the grand scheme of things. So
yeah, I feel like a lot more of Michigan plays a more grounded game. So seeing him come in with all these short hop aerials is kind of throwing him off.
Definitely. All right, getting into game number 2, Dlyster sticking with the Lucina and Unknown counterpick into Battlefield. This is a very good counterpick against Marcina because one thing that we saw that he wasn't getting on Smashville is that his movement wasn't quite up to snuff. And Mewtwo, when he gets these tri-platforms, his movement gets a little bit more, a little better for the most part. But now he gets to integrate these like platforms to extend his like forward air strings and to just trap Marth, or to trap Lucina, who, like her Marth counterpart, always struggles at landing.
Yeah, and I mean, Mewtwo's up tilt's going to cover that entire platform, so you got to be careful when you're coming back on.
Yeah, oh wow, that forward air was reaching through the ledge here for Dlyster to just get back on stage. Fully charged Shadow Ball. Dlyster, times it just right to get back up.
That's always a scary thing when you're coming back against Mewtwo, because if your timing is not perfect, you're going to die.
Definitely. And then up smash, the old Galaxy hands, and now Unknown, finally, looking like he's in the driver's seat for this set. Beautiful ledge cancel to get in that fully charged Shadow Ball. This is what Unknown wanted.
Yeah, I mean, like you were saying, those triplats coming in to help out that movement and just canceling off of it to throw out that Shadow Ball. and trapping landings like that on the platforms.
Exactly. See, this is just textbook for what to do in the matchup. And, you know, historically, everybody really thinks, like, you know what, the Marcinas, they're so good on these tri-platforms just because they get an incredible, like, jungle game.
Yep.
But Mewtwo just mitigates that. He's just like, that's non-existent anymore.
Yeah, and I feel like the other thing that is coming into play here, Dlyster is typically, as of game 1 at least, was using a more aerial-based approach. These platforms are throwing that off, so he's not able to come in at the angles that he wants to.
Yeah, and you could definitely see in game 1, Dlyster was like, he was doing a good job mixing in short hop aerials with like full hops.
Yep.
But now, like you said, with those platforms, it really just cuts his game plan of approaching and trying to break into that zone of Mewtwo.
Holy cow! He's going real deep to try and take
he went real deep. That was not wise.
Yep. But this is why you want that early lead, because now he's got the counter pick advantage.
Yeah. All right, now Unknown. This is what Unknown wanted to like play for.
Yes.
A very solid start for game number 2 to come out on top. And I mean, it was a 2-stock too, so definitely a good momentum switch.
Yep.
Going into game number 3. So we got to see, can Dlyster kind of keep the pressure off of his own shoulders so he's not getting in his own head? Because like he was still he played really well game 1. If he can kind of like channel that game 1 energy into this next set, he'll be perfect.
Yeah, I mean that's the big challenge when you don't come out to tournaments as often. You don't have that tournament experience because you can get in your own mind really easily, whereas when you're back at home just playing on Wi-Fi or just at a smaller tournament, it's a lot easier to keep your cool. But in situations like these, you gotta have your mind under control.
Yeah. I mean, it all comes with time. Sadly, Dlyster might have been coming into the game a little too late.
Yep.
But he's starting this game number 3 off relatively strong. Unknown, though, firing right back with a slurry of just so many, like, solidly placed aerials.
Yeah. But, I mean, Dlyster's been doing a good job keeping up the percent-wise, though. Just trying to space out just right, but... Oh, there we go. Nice mix-up. But the challenge has just been to find the openings because both of these players just having to work forever just to get anything.
That was such a great tag. Dlyster going low while retaining his jump to make sure that, like, Unknown had to do, like, a rising aerial or something. Oh, he tried to B-reverse that because that would have killed him.
That would have been devastating.
And one thing I like from what I'm seeing from Dlyster is that when he sees Unknown is in like a air dodge, forced air dodge situation, Dlyster is like precisely timing when the air dodge ends. Dlyster takes first blood.
Man, that's gonna be crazy.
Oh, and Unknown fires right back with his own forward air.
So this is going to be a last stock situation here, starting off with even percents.
Stock of champions for both these guys. Unknown loving to advance up in this winner or in this losers bracket to fight Runes. Dlyster looking to just make a name for himself, but right off of the bat, Unknown is just running rampant over Dlyster. Can he make this comeback? Because right now it is looking bleak for the Marth lookalike.
Yeah, I mean, Unknown has just been keeping him off the stage and not letting him get what he needs here, but this may be an opening for Dlyster.
Oh man, Dlyster looking for these grabs. Unknown gonna get the scoop and take it home with a 2-1 victory over Dlyster. Dlyster, nothing to kind of like worry about. Like he played so well in that.